Hi Aquarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for December 2013, and until the 22nd it's a very sociable, proactive kind of a phase, more involvement in activities within a group, a community of some kind, but and given the time of the year that's no surprise, is it? But it's a very future orientated period as well. Certain aims or ambitions that you've had on back of your mind, you could feel that the ball's rolling on those. Great time for anything to do with technology, anything new, and networking, anything to do with the net as well. And until the 5th, discussions and correspondence and ideas may be revolving around career matters, career, job, goals, ambitions in the wider world. Where you go from here, where am I going from here? And it's anything like that could be highlighted, and you having, maybe correspondence related to that, and you doing a lot of thinking on that and bouncing ideas off others. And also for some of you, vehicles, transport, travel, that could also be on your mind, schedules, timetables and the like. But then from the 5th, Mercury comes into the same area as the Sun, meaning you could be thinking along a different track. The input of others could get you thinking in different sorts of ways. And, that little flash of brilliance could be coming in there. That little... sort of being tapped on the head with the fairy wand, and it's like the aha moment. You could be getting interested in something which is quite unusual, or maybe start using a bit of kit technologically, which is you've got to get your head around that. Now, Venus has begun a very long transit lasting until next March in a very background area of your chart. So maybe there's something going on there in your relationships which you're not quite certain about, which you're keeping quite close to your chest. Maybe something you are feeling a little bit up in the air about. And so you need to trust. Anything which is in that sector of the chart is very, very, it's almost beyond the physical world. So it's kind of invisible hands in the background at work, which you maybe in your normal consciousness are unaware of. You need to trust that things will unfold and things will be just as they are meant to be. And of course, this is also a very imaginative area, so don't let your imagination run away with you either. But on the plus side, on the flip side of the coin, this is great for imaginative work with Venus here for such a long time, or any connection with the arts. It's also a great time to immerse yourself in whatever feeds your soul. Something that really feeds your soul, feeds your heart. So just get more exposure to those sorts of environment, those sorts of pursuits, those sorts of activities. It might just be reading, a good book, or maybe writing one. You could try that, you being a very, very strong air sign. But you could also be mulling over the past, and others can be oblivious actually to what's going on within you. But this is a great time because Venus, the great balancer, will gently iron out any turbulence. And another way this can work, of several, because this is a very long transit, is that you could be, Venus does rule money and other useful resources. So even from this really quite ethereal part of your chart, this incubation area here means that you could be slowly developing something in the background. Maybe it's that great novel, which actually will start to, drop the pennies into the piggy bank. Now, until the 8th, Mars is in an area which is about changing gear. Maybe that is, physically, but also emotionally, letting go of something, letting go of a previous standpoint or a plan or habitual way of doing something, or indeed an agreement or contract of some kind, And you could be feeling some inner turmoil with this position of Mars. We always do when Mars is here, having to be a little bit more secretive, having to bite your tongue, maybe zip the lip, and because Mars is really stirring up the emotions. But on the flip side, you can be more assertive when it comes to a certain key relationship, and maybe get something sorted out, you know, like a debt. Maybe that debt is owed by you or due to you, and that can be a moral debt as well as the obvious. But you need to take maybe a more decisive approach about clearing the decks, getting it sorted, whether that's inwardly in your private life or outwardly. And it's probably a bit of both, because what we hang on to outwardly, we tend to hang on to inwardly as well. And just trust your intuition. So it's very much here as well a trust thing. But very quickly, Mars is going to move from there and begins a mega huge transit lasting until next July in Libra. And now this is very good news for you, Aquarians. Libra is a fellow air sign, so that puts Mars in an extremely positive angle to your sun sign. This will be your time to reach out for fresh objectives, fresh experiences, cast your nets wide. The right moment for you to launch into new activities, a new project, a new enterprise. So it's a very long transit, and some moments will be more appropriate and beneficial than others to do these sorts of things. But I'll be speaking about this again and revisiting it as the months go by. So you could be, this is a communications area, so you could be beating the drum on something. Your words, your experience, your opinion could be out there. But also you could be sourcing information and getting the guidance and the teaching and the advice as well, whether that is to do with your personal life or whether it's to do with something that you're researching or working on. It could be like that. You're definitely going to be learning a lot about things you didn't have a clue about before, and joining up the dots, putting the pieces in place. But this is a time for you to be getting out and about more, shake out the cobwebs. Take a trip, connect with unfamiliar places, whether they are, you know, foreign lands, or whether it's just getting, you know, into a new social group, or signing up for a course, or you know, just push the envelope of daily life. In the second half of December, Mars is spinning over the degrees of Uranus and Pluto, and this restless energy means change is in the air. That's from about the 20th onwards, and at best you'll express yourself more freely and confidently, but try not to speculate too wildly. And Jupiter will be in your area of health and employment, work, daily chores, mundane everyday life really, until next July. So there's going to be no shortage of opportunities for you to learn and grow through these sorts of ways, which doesn't seem, you know, immediately obvious, but it will mean that you pick up a lot of detailed knowledge through these daily matters, whether that is through work or to do with health, and also through health providers, service providers in general, colleagues, and the indications are that you will get the chance to experience new methods of working, using new technologies maybe, and that's that's up until next July. But the trend here will be that employers, colleagues, even though there might be more to do every day, you tend to get more appreciation for what you're doing. So if you're launching into some sort of new way of working, if you want to, this would be a good time to do it. And you Aquarians born between the 4th and 10th of February, or with 15 to 21 degrees rising, and feel the energy the most this month. Saturn is at the top of your solar chart in Scorpio. That's until the end of 2014, holding you away from your ambitions and goals a little bit, making you work harder to kind of get a foot on the ladder sort of thing, in some respects. Slowly this will help you to redefine your place in the world, your image, your life direction, And actually, this is a time when you will be reaping what you've sown in the past. So old connections, old qualifications, old experiences will serve you well. If you have been really thorough and honest and maybe hardworking in these areas in the past, then this will reward you well. If you haven't, well, you haven't. So you can improve on it now. And if you're old enough, look back 28 years, around about 28, 29 years, to get the gist of what is unfolding now at the moment by recording where you were then and what happened next. And you Aquarians born between the 5th and the 10th of February, or with 16 to 21 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. The current positions of Saturn, Neptune and Jupiter are creating a vibration which positively underpins imaginative ways to improve your material financial circumstances and gives you a deeper insight into what is of most value to you now. So you might have to be juggling those priorities, because you get the sort of inner feeling of, I used to think it was this, but actually no, it's that. And new work possibilities are definitely going to be on the horizon, but you will have to work hard and be consistent to, as I say, get that foot on the ladder and slowly work your way up it. And that's it for December. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. It'll give you a more rounded view of what I said here. And also, if you want to know what the outer planets, the degrees that the outer planets are at, I update that every month on my website. And I wish you a lovely, happy time during the festive season in whatever way it does it for you. And I will see you before the new year.